So Wednesday went down to Swansea with bad news ringing in their ears. Deshaun Bernard ruled out for the rest of the season. A huge blow there at the back, especially as at the moment we haven't managed to get any reinforcements in defence. That meant tonight a bit of a shuffle for Wednesday. Marvin Johnson recalled to the side as Wednesday went with a sort of 4-2-3-1 come 4-3-3. So have a quick look at the team. So Beadle in goal, a back four of Valerie, a Heckway, Max Lowe moving into centre half from full back, Marvin Johnson recalled on the left hand side. In front of that, Charles and Ingleson in midfield, Patterson in there as well, but Wednesday very fluid. Patterson were drifting out to the right hand side and Windass were dropping in. And a front three nominally of Windass, Ugbo and Gassama. Opening stage is a bit of a scrappy game. Swansea, though, after about 10 minutes, got into a bit of rhythm, started having a lot of possession of the ball, as we were expecting them to do. But for that, though, Wednesday actually probably had the more dangerous chances in the first half. Windass dragged a shot just wide after some good play down the right-hand side with Valerie advancing in a sort of inside right position. And again, another chance, well, maybe about 20 minutes again, Windass with a shot that connected quite well with it, but it went into the floor and sort of drilled the keeper, made a comfortable save. But yeah, Swansea growing into the game, lots of possession of the ball, but Wednesday with a good shape, as they've done all season on the road, quite compact in there, and looking to break where they could. Half an hour into the game, during this really sort of decent spell of possession for Swansea, although they'd not really gone anywhere, but they had one particularly good move. They worked the ball around, they got it down the left-hand side. Well, initially went down the right, the kid cut in, he beat a couple of players, knocked into it forward, who spun out, got it out to the left. Really good passage of play, and this only went through the gears and sped it up. And the kid on the left-hand side, he got acres of time to pick his cross out, and he just skanked one straight off at bar, and, big groans from home support after a decent passage of play. It was a bit of a scrappy game. There were lots of little niggles in midfield. Folks were getting stuck in, because possession were being won and lost quite a lot in there. And I'm going to do something I very rarely do. I'm going to stick up for the referee. I thought it would a bit niggly at middle of part, but he tried to let it flow. He tried to let it go and help it be a better game than it possibly was. So I'm going to stick up for him. I slag referees nearly every week on this channel. I feel bad about it sometimes. I didn't feel bad about it Saturday because he was an absolute shocker, but this lad tonight, Elliot Bell, I did think he tried to let it flow, and I think he deserves a bit of credit for that. There were a few little niggly ones, folks were making a meal of it, and he was like, no, carry on. And after a bit, it became like a proper battle in midfield where folks were chucking themselves in tackles, and they were leaping straight back up after, which is, it's what you want to see. Like I said, Swansea have got a way of playing, which trying to keep possession of the ball and lots of movement. Wednesday were having their own little spells, but Wednesday playing a more of a mixed game than them. We were knocking about, but we weren't afraid to hit Patterson when we got the opportunity. Hit some longer passes to him and try and get in behind him and over him when they'd advanced into our half. And that's where Wednesday were quite fluid in that, because at times I was like, it's a 4-2-3-1, with Charles and Ingleson and then Gassama, Windass and Patterson. But sometimes Patterson were tucked in. It was like a 4-3-3. Sometimes Windass were up there with Ugbo, who was more like a 4-4-2. And at times it was the other way. Patterson, he were going longer, and Wednesday were trying to find him, and Windass were dropping in and finding that space in behind. So very fluid from Wednesday, and like I said, a mixed game. They were knocking it about where they could, but not afraid to go long. And I like that. I like a mixed game. I get bored when it's just I thought Swansea were building up a little bit of momentum as they went towards the break, and they had a good move down the right hand side. The lads chopped inside. I think he can deliver it, but he takes an absolute swan dive. I'd be really disappointed if I were a Swansea fan there, because I thought he'd got the opportunity to get through, and it's too much of that in game. But as I said, referee, he's had a decent game tonight. Swansea came out, I thought, brightly in second half. First 5-10 minutes, I thought they dominated the ball, and in fact, probably 5 minutes after break, they had an excellent move. They They'd more or less kept hold of it from the start at second half, actually. I don't know how many passes it were. I expect it were probably well into, 20 odd passes in this move. They almost lost it down right side, but lad got in, recovered quickly, put it out wide, delicious cross into the box, and their lad's got up with header, and it's a good save from Beadley. He sort of drops down onto the ball, but I think when they look back at it, that lad who got his head on it, he'll be thinking he should have probably scored there, because he's got in unmarked. He's managed to lose his marker for the first time, and he's put it straight down middle. Either side, he probably asks a big question of Beadle. As I said, first half, I thought Swansea had plenty of possession at ball, probably edged it on in them terms, but Wednesday, I would say, carved out the better, more meaningful opportunities. Second half, I thought Swansea looked, quite sharp. They looked a bit slicker in the passing on Wednesday, probably struggling to get a little bit of a foothold in the game. But Danny Roll made some positive substitutions, as he always does. There always seems to be a plan. So Armstrong came on for Patterson and took up a sort of Ad Cutler in an inside right position, and up front Smith come on for Ugbo, and super sub yet again. Wednesday scored the goal that wins the game. It's a terrible ball out from Darling, the centre Darling. Apparently I think Wednesday were linked with him actually. I think he was the player that they were trying to get over the line. Probably a good job we didn't looking at that tonight.
What is the matter with you, darling?
Really casual ball out. Really casual ball. Windass, who's had an excellent game, been very lively. Intercepted, drives on. He's got a marker on this side. Darling starts to come across as well. And as he draws him, lovely little ball into Smith. I think it's an underrated ball. It just looks like a square pass, but because of the weight it puts on it, it invites Smith to step onto it, which is what he wants. If Windass drills that pass into it, he's having to control it and then get his shot away. It's an harder chance. And this is what I talk about with the difference between what is a good chance and what is an half chance. And it's little things like that. The weight of the pass from Windass is brilliant. Invites Smith, step on it, wraps his foot round it, puts it in bottom corner away from keeper's end. Fantastic goal. Terrible from their point of view, absolute nightmare scenario, but from Wednesday's really well taken. Wednesday have their own little spell of pressure then. We get a few corners. Ingleson takes a really good corner from left hand side, puts some real whip on it. Smithy gets up at back stick. It's a decent save from their keeper, but he's made an absolute meal of it, because when you see it from behind goal, he's stood on that side. Really, I think he can probably get him, bring it in. But they like to make it look flash these days, don't they? 2-0 there, that would have been game over as far as I'm concerned, but he's tipped it away, saved it, so it's 1-0. And that gives you that little bit of nervousness going into the last 15 minutes, because Wednesday games this season, there has been a lot of goals in the last 15 minutes, both for and against, so squeaky bum time. Probably aware of that, Danny makes another sub, brings Chalabar on for Ingleson, who's, and Chalabar comes on and sort of does that sitting job for us. And Ingleson today, I think he's had a terrific game. If you look at the match as a whole, as a spectacle, he's probably not really caught the eye. There's been no flashy passes, he's not really smashed any brilliant shots away or anything like that, but he's done a lot of that unseen work today. He's won so many tackles, and not glamorous tackles that get people off the seat, sliding tackles where you wipe 3 men out. Just them little block tackles, them meat and drink tackles that, you've got to do, especially in there in midfield. And it's stuff that I think it largely gets overlooked and sort of bypassed when people look back at games. But he's had a terrifically busy game in Middle of Park there at Ingleson. And he was deserving of his rest, because I thought he was looking a bit leggy towards end. There were one bit he tried to intercept ball again, up just inside their half, misstepped it, lad got away, done a tremendous job. He's chased him back 60 yards down pitch to get a foot in that corner flag. He's had a really good game. Last minute, another good opportunity for Wednesday to maybe make it 2. Charles wins the ball, really sharp, he's fully focused, nips in, drives on. He's getting felled from back, and as he gets pulled back with his weaker foot, as he's been pulled backwards, Still manages a fantastic pass. Great through ball for Windass. It takes it on and takes shot across goal. It sort of drags across. Nobody can get in there and get a touch on it or anything. And then in the very last minute, I mean, it would have been typical Wednesday. We've seen it a lot this season. And God, that Gaddy Monk era and through Poulis and Bruce, we were doing it every week, conceding last minute goals. And for a split second, I thought it was the same tonight. Late in the game, ball down the left-hand side, really nice cross into the middle. And really intelligent play from there, lad, because he knows from that angle he's probably not going to be able to get head on target. So he knocks it back across to his mate. Nice cushioned header back across to Fulton, but he'd strayed into an offside position. And how nice to see flag go up straight away. Up, off, and then everybody knows, don't they? And you don't have this 5 or 6 minutes of celebrating and then bloody scenes breaking out all over the pitch. So, good result for Wednesday. Decent performance from officials, although I'm sure probably one or two Swansea fans might disagree. And now, slightly further up that table, because our neighbours down the road have done us a bit of a favour by putting Middlesbrough to bed. So Burnley in that top playoff spot, 64 points. Sunderland, they won tonight, 2-0. They're on 62. A win for Blackburn as well on 48. And West Brom, they've had a 2-0 defeat tonight. So they're on 47 points. And then in the chasing pack, Bristol City and Wednesday, both on 45 points. Jesus, I mean, I'd have snapped your hand off before it started the season, but when you're looking at it now, it's just like, oh God, come on, we can do this, we could do this. But it's true though, isn't it? You know, I'm talking to people at work beginning of the season. Everybody I talk to, 10 to 15, step in the right direction. And this season has been a step in the right direction. Whatever happens at the end of it, it's an improvement. It's building these foundations here. But when it's that close like this, it's like, oh God, come on, come on. Anyway, fantastic 3 points for Wednesday. Now got 3 really tough games coming up. Coventry on Saturday at Hillsborough. I'm sick at sight of Coventry, I don't know about you. Honestly, I have seen enough of them this last couple of seasons for the lifetime. Tough game in prospect there at Hillsborough. Really got to get behind the lads because, like I said, just 2 points out of playoffs, fantastic. Then we've got Burnley away. Obviously, they're keeping clean sheets for fun. That'll be a really tough ask down there. And then the following week, obviously, Sunderland, who, although the form's been up and down, you know, I think you've got to accept they've probably got one of the most exciting, you know, young teams in division. So 3 really tough games there, 9 points available. I think if we could get 4 points out of that, I don't think that'd be a bad return on paper. But you never know. I would expect us to go down there and for that to be a really boring game and a point would be a good result. But we've gone down, got a win, got a vital clean sheet again. So you never know in football on the day, do you? Anyway, I am going to go because it is midweek, working morning, so it's not a long one. I'll see you for a video on Saturday after the game. See you later, have a good week.